Tervehdyksiä hyvät ystävät, lähdetään matkalle tutkimaan, mitä siellä Kiinassa oikein tapahtuu. Ja miettikää tässä samalla, siinä on suomalainen tekstitys niille, jotka eivät englantia osaa. Miettikää, minkä takia meidän valtamedia ei puhu näistä Kiinan asioista juuri mitään. Kuka siihen vaikuttaa? Lähdetäänpäs hienolle matkalle kiinalaiseen todellisuuteen.
Be doomed. The toilet revolution erupts, with people across China rising up to call for the killing of Xi's family and the regime's downfall through various means. Military vehicles roll into Guangzhou city streets, thousands protest, China's official civilian crisis erupts fully. Terror escalates. Is the CCP facing its doomsday? Swarming insects darken the skies, crows cover the sun, and armies of fish, crabs, and frogs storm ashore. China's unprecedented move shocks the world, cutting water to British embassy to pressure, London over mega embassy project. Fearing a loss of control, Zhang Yuqia reportedly met Hu and Wen made 5 shocking statements. You're watching Decoding China, where we bring you timely analysis and grounded perspectives on today's China. The CCP must be doomed. The toilet revolution erupts, with people across China rising up to call for the killing of Xi's family and the regime's downfall through various means. Despite the authoritarian and oppressive rule of the Chinese Communist Party, which employs suppression, imprisonment, and even elimination, many Chinese citizens continue to resist courageously through various forms of protest, demonstrating an indomitable spirit for democracy and freedom. Slogans have appeared in public restrooms across multiple locations, some recently described as chilling, directly challenging CCP state media and targeting Xi Jinping's entire family, drawing widespread attention. On October 9th, ex-user Luo Xiang posted a screenshot stating, China's toilet revolution has reached a climax, directly confronting CCP state media. The screenshot showed a message scrawled on what appeared to be a public restroom door. You don't report when civilians are killed. You don't report when officials are killed. You didn't report when Li Keqiang was killed. So if we kill Xi Jinping's family, will you report it then? On the same day, a netizen photographed a slogan written in both Chinese and English on another restroom door. Strike classes, strike work. Remove the dictator and national traitor Xi Jinping. In response, some netizens commented, whether they report it or not depends on the CCP's party media needs. The party media serves Xi, so any information unfavorable to him or his family is censored immediately, and the person reporting it may even disappear. The key is to break free from the CCP and achieve personal freedom. China has witnessed a full-blown toilet revolution, with slogans directly targeting the CCP and Xi Jinping. Some read, down with the mafia, down with the Chinese Communist Party. Xi Jinping, get out of China. Others declare, Communist Party, step down. Xi Jinping, step down now. Bandits of the communist regime, we want votes, democracy, and freedom. On September 10th, more shocking messages appeared. On a subway restroom door in Beijing, someone wrote, a friend of mine in his early 30s has died, yet Pig Xi wants to live to 150, 1.4 billion organs. Wake up. Meanwhile, on a bridge pillar in the capital, another message read, Syria, Bangladesh, Nepal. Their people have risen up to reclaim power while we remain silent. Those who queue in the rain to file petitions are treated like walking organs. We've lived under dictatorship for 80 years. Let's show them that all humans are born equal, that those who torture, enslave, and harvest our organs can also feel fear. They are not immortal. They too have parents, children, and grandchildren. After decades of CCP tyranny, the Chinese people have reached a breaking point. Since October 12, 2022, when brave citizen Peng Lifa hung multiple anti-CCP banners on Beijing's Xitong Bridge, similar acts of resistance have become frequent. A striking case occurred on August 29th this year at 10 p.m., when a courageous individual named Qi Hong projected massive anti-CCP slogans onto a high-rise building in Chongqing University City's Xi Street, lasting over 50 minutes. The slogans included, No Communist Party, only then a new China. Freedom is not a gift. It must be seized. Rise up those who refuse to be slaves. Rise up to reclaim your rights. Down with red fascism, overthrow the communist tyranny. And No lies, we want truth. No slavery, we want freedom. Down with the tyrannical Communist Party. Chi Hong and his family have since safely arrived in the UK. On August 27th, anti-CCP slogans appeared on utility poles in Shijiazhuang, Hebei, including CCP China, CCP the Chinese people. The CCP does not represent the Chinese people, and the CCP does not represent the interests of the Chinese people. In China, people are taught from a young age that loving the party equates to loving the country, conflating China with the Chinese Communist Party. These slogans signify the awakening of the Chinese people. Before the September 3rd military parade, slogans such as China needs democracy and the rule of law and down with the dictator were spray-painted in toilets across Beijing. In response, authorities in Dongqing, Xicheng, Chaoyang, Haidian, and Fengtai districts implemented scan-to-enter measures for public toilets and stationed administrators to monitor them. Some netizens remarked, "For decades, ordinary people have struggled to survive, while officials paint rosy pictures in reports and shout slogans in meetings. Public grievances are overwhelming, piling up like a disaster. Yet there's no system to address people's injustices genuinely. The CCP's inaction has turned one ordinary person after another into a flashpoint of tragedy. What's terrifying isn't the incidents themselves, but the despair born of oppression, now spreading across the nation." Throughout modern Chinese history, similar acts of resistance have occurred multiple times, each a powerful current in the river of history, pushing for societal awakening and progress. Every individual who resists has made immense contributions and will be remembered by history. Sun Liang, coordinator of the Chinese Political and Religious Victims Support Association, told the Epoch Times, "Hardly anyone believes in the CCP anymore. The people have long despised it." He added, "In Hebei, a slogan on a utility pole called for the downfall of the Communist Party. Similar slogans have appeared in Jinan and Guangxi for a long time, like down with Xi Jinping or down with the Communist Party. These are the people's helpless way of venting. I think the Communist Party could collapse at any moment. With China's worsening economic situation, people have become more sensitive to many issues." Sun warned, "If one day people can't afford food, uprisings will erupt across the country, and overthrowing the tyranny will be imminent." Military vehicles roll into Guangzhou city streets. Thousands protest. China's official civilian crisis erupts fully. Recent reports from Huxingmu TV have revealed escalating instability across mainland China, with particularly alarming images of military vehicles entering downtown Guangzhou amid a deepening social and economic crisis. According to the channel's sources, Guangzhou has spiraled into chaos, with tensions between officials and civilians reaching a breaking point and China's real economy plunging into unprecedented gloom. Once hailed as the heart of the world's factory, Guangzhou is now gripped by fear and tension. Locals report seeing long convoys of unmarked olive green military trucks rolling into the city center, their tinted windows concealing their contents and metallic clanging sounds emanating from the back. Armed soldiers with riot shields and rubber batons patrol the streets, heightening the sense of unease. One witness described an eerie scene early one morning while crossing Lead Bridge, typically a bustling commuter route. The area was unnaturally silent, leading him to initially assume the city was preparing for a military parade to mark the 80th anniversary of Victory Day. However, it soon became clear that something was amiss. The vehicles were not headed to bases or airports, but were moving directly into the city. According to internal police sources, Guangzhou authorities have intensified stability measures, amid fears that civilian groups are organizing coordinated protests over unemployment and unpaid wages. Some troops from the Guangzhou military region have reportedly been deployed to maintain order. For residents, however, this presence signals not security, but repression and fear. In just 3 years, Guangzhou has undergone a dramatic decline. Once thriving shopping districts are now lined with shuttered storefronts. The famous Shangxiaju pedestrian street, once teeming with weekend shoppers, stands desolate with "for rent" and liquidation sale signs adorning empty shops. Supermarkets are covered in dust, and customers have all but vanished. In the first half of 2025, China's real economy entered a severe downturn. Private factories collapsed, foreign investment fled, and unemployment soared. Independent estimates suggest that the Pearl River Delta region alone saw over 480 business closures daily. Major corporations, including Apple, Nike, and Tesla, have relocated production lines to Southeast Asia. Experts attribute this decline to more than just trade wars and inflation. Heavy taxation and an increasingly hostile business environment have taken a toll. Local governments have imposed relentless fines and fees, forcing companies to pay social insurance and environmental levies. One small factory owner in Guangzhou was fined 500,000 yuan for a minor infraction, ultimately leading to bankruptcy. Meanwhile, ordinary citizens are being pushed to the brink. Youth unemployment has reached historic highs, leaving millions of college graduates jobless. The popular phrase lying flat, once a symbol of apathy, has become a desperate survival strategy. Even those with higher education are resorting to delivering food, driving rideshare cars, or returning to their hometowns defeated. The inequality is stark. While millions struggle, many government officials continue to enjoy high salaries and bonuses. Environmental inspections and safety evaluations have become pretexts for extorting money from private firms. On the social media platform X, users accuse Guangzhou district officials of corruption, embezzlement, and purchasing luxury properties with public funds. Tensions have erupted into open conflict. Workers have occupied factories, students have staged sit-ins, and residents have clashed with authorities. Guangzhou is no longer an isolated case. It has become the first flashpoint in a nationwide wave of unrest. In response, the government has rushed to deploy troops to the city center under the guise of maintaining social stability. To the people, however, this is a sign of fear that the grass they have suppressed for years may finally rise together. Yet, amid this climate of fear, sparks of awakening are emerging. More citizens are speaking out, sharing stories, and exposing truths that official media refuse to cover. In private chat groups and anonymous posts, they document what is hidden from public view. Quietly, people whisper to one another, "We cannot stay silent any longer." A vegetable vendor in a Guangzhou market expressed it bluntly, "We can't endure this anymore. Officials eat and drink well while we're left to swallow our pain." Under the shadow of the military's presence, public sentiment has shifted, from fear to anger and from anger to a yearning for freedom. One resident wrote online, "Let every private conversation, every anonymous post, every refusal to repeat propaganda become a spark of awakening." These sparks may already be spreading, not just as acts of defiance, but as signs of a society reaching a new level of self-awareness, where fear gives way to dignity and the will to live free. Though Guangzhou's streets remain under guard, the hearts of its people have begun to break through the walls of fear, reclaiming their right to live with dignity and freedom. Terror escalates. Is the CCP facing its doomsday? Swarming insects darken the skies, crows cover the sun, and armies of fish, crabs, and frogs storm ashore. Across several regions in China, residents have been alarmed by a series of mysterious natural phenomena, from gas erupting from the ground to dark clouds of insects covering the sky. Footage captured by locals shows an extraordinary scene. Underground gases bubbling up from sand and mud, rising in bursts as if the earth itself were boiling. Even along the roadside, jets of vapor shoot upward like natural fountains. In Ulaanbaatar City, Inner Mongolia, the skies turned pitch black as enormous flocks of crows filled the air. Locals reported the birds screeching endlessly, blotting out the sunlight, a sight that many described as chilling. Meanwhile, vast swarms of insects darkened the highways. The front of the car was covered in smashed insects, thick like a coat of paint, one driver said. Many locals believe that such swarms are a sign of an unusually harsh winter to come. Beyond Inner Mongolia, strange occurrences have appeared across China. Streets in Tianjin overrun with frogs, armies of crabs crawling ashore in Yantai, whitefly infestations spreading through Henan, snakes climbing trees in Guangzhou, and ant migrations in Jiangsu. Witnesses described scenes of dark clouds pressing down on the city as flocks of birds and swarms of insects moved in waves, as if foretelling an impending upheaval. In Gansu province, river waters suddenly began to boil and emit clouds of steam. "I am not from here," one witness said, "but I saw vapor bubbling up from the riverbank. It was really boiling." In Hangzhou, a massive cloud formation resembling a human face appeared in the sky, sparking a frenzy on social media. "It looks like a real face. It really does," a shocked onlooker exclaimed. But what truly unsettled many was a viral video that seemed to capture a supernatural event. In the footage, a herd of cows suddenly stopped and split into two groups, even though nothing was visible ahead. Moments later, a hazy, glowing shape appeared, prompting the nearest cow to bolt in fear while the rest froze. When the figure vanished, the herd cautiously resumed moving, but deliberately avoided the spot where it had appeared. Observers suggest that these recurring phenomena might be environmental anomalies triggered by rapid climate and geological changes. Yet as the eerie signs continue to multiply across China, an uneasy question lingers. Are these merely coincidences of nature, or omens of something deeper stirring beneath the surface? China's unprecedented move shocks the world, cutting water to British embassy to pressure London over mega embassy project. A recent report by the Daily Mail on October 5th revealed that Chinese authorities cut off the water supply to the British embassy in Beijing in what is believed to be an attempt to pressure the UK government into approving China's plan to build a massive new embassy complex in London before October 21st. According to the report, British diplomats have been working in a severely deteriorating building, with some offices relocated to a former squash court. One source stated, "Sometimes our water just disappears. They're using our embassy's poor condition as leverage for their own project." Experts warn that this act violates the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations and marks an unprecedented case of coercive diplomacy. The incident has sparked outrage across diplomatic circles, evoking memories of the 1900 Boxer Rebellion, when the British legation in Beijing was besieged and set on fire. On social media platform X, commentator Li Chengpeng mocked, "Cutting off the water isn't enough. Surround the embassy with hot pot and stinky tofu stalls, and have square dance teams perform day and night to keep them awake." His satirical post drew over 240,000 views, symbolizing China's increasingly aggressive wolf warrior diplomacy. Many online users in the UK and Hong Kong have called for reciprocal measures, urging the British government to cut power or water to the Chinese embassy in London and to investigate Chinese officials' assets in the UK. Observers warn that such coercive tactics could easily backfire, further isolating China diplomatically. Meanwhile, China's mega embassy project in London remains the center of a growing controversy. The site, located opposite the Tower of London, was purchased by China in 2018 for $255 million, and plans cover over 57,000 square meters, about 10 times larger than its current embassy, including office buildings, 225 residential units, and a cultural exchange center. If completed, it would become China's largest embassy in Europe. However, the project has faced strong opposition from residents and local councils due to security and heritage concerns. The U.S. government has also expressed deep concern, warning that the site's strategic location near major data and financial hubs could be used for intelligence operations, effectively creating a surveillance outpost targeting global financial networks from London to Wall Street. According to The Guardian, Beijing viewed the UK's rejection of the embassy plan as a diplomatic insult and retaliated by obstructing Britain's own embassy renovation in Beijing. A senior UK official told the paper, "They see this as a reciprocal matter, but our system doesn't operate as centrally or politically as theirs." Prime Minister Keir Starmer reportedly spoke directly with President Xi Jinping on August 23, 2024, during which Xi personally raised the embassy issue. Following that, Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner took over the case and later discovered that several sections of China's design documents had been redacted, prompting a formal request for clarification. The UK Department for Housing extended the review deadline from September 9th to October 21st, while the Chinese embassy expressed outrage over the delay, insisting that the proposal is of very high quality. However, Conservative MP Ian Duncan Smith condemned the water cutoff in Beijing as a shocking act of coercion, arguing that China's arrogance and disregard for international norms are deeply troubling. Analysts conclude that China's diplomacy under Xi Jinping has become increasingly assertive and heavy-handed, frequently using economic leverage and infrastructure control as tools of political pressure. They warn that this episode is not just about a building, but a test case for how Beijing is redefining power diplomacy in the 21st century. Fearing a loss of control, Zhang Yuqia reportedly met Hu and Wen made 5 shocking statements. According to Vision Times on October 9, 2025, there are only 11 days left before the 4th plenary session of the Chinese Communist Party convenes. Observers are now focused on one crucial question: will Xi Jinping remain in power or will he step down? It is reported that former General Secretary Hu Jintao, hopes to preserve the party while using a legal procedure to force Xi to step down. However, this move has placed the military faction, especially the group led by Zhang Yuxia, as well as political figures like Wang Yang and Hu Chunhua, in a precarious position. Recently, sources revealed that Zhang Yuxia and Liu Yuan secretly met with Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao, during which Zhang reportedly made 5 shocking statements. Some analysts believe that instead of waiting to be purged, Zhang and his allies might be preparing to take bold action to regain control. The secret meeting reportedly took place in a heavily guarded residence in Xishan, Beijing, lasting more than 2 hours. During the meeting, Zhang Yuxia made 5 remarks said to have hit at the very core of power, reflecting deep unease among the military and fear of losing control as the political struggle intensifies. Zhang's first statement was reportedly, "If Xi Jinping does not fully step down at the 4th plenary session, I, Zhang Yuxia, fear that my own fate, as well as that of the senior leaders here, is already clear." He emphasized that while loyalty from the military is the foundation of the party, loyalty does not mean blind obedience. If the meeting fails to follow proper rules, he warned, there will be immense pressure within the armed forces. And if the situation spirals out of control, the consequences will be dire. In his second statement, Zhang warned that if Xi remains in power, Wang Yang and Hu Chunhua would face serious threats to their personal safety. He said this was not an exaggeration, but a signal from within the military itself. His third statement was even more alarming. The internal struggle within the party will no longer remain under the surface. It may erupt openly and even turn violent. Liu Yuan reportedly agreed, adding that the current situation is far more complex than in the past. He cautioned that if they failed to prepare early, the outcome would be disastrous, urging Hu Jintao to be ready to take lightning measures, including the possibility of forcing Xi to surrender power through military pressure. In his fourth statement, Zhang said that if Xi refuses to hand over power voluntarily, senior leaders must have a contingency plan. He admitted that if events spiral beyond control, he might not be able to contain the situation, and urged them to devise an emergency strategy in advance. Finally, his fifth and final remark was seen as a chilling warning. Once certain things have started, there's no turning back. Like a boulder rolling down the mountain, it cannot be stopped. Commentator Shanhe Dongfu noted that Zhang's 5 statements strike directly at the heart of the crisis, revealing the military's growing anxiety about the CCP's internal instability. He believes Zhang fears for his own fate as well as that of Wang Yang and Hu Chunhua. To oppose Xi, he said, is tantamount to rebellion. Even if it happens within the party, it will still be a bloody power struggle. He added that if Xi only relinquishes power in name, while keeping the title of supreme leader, the risk remains enormous. According to Shanhe Dongfu, as long as Xi retains his official title, he can still use his formal authority to eliminate rivals. Only if the anti-Xi faction gains public legitimacy within the party will they have the political strength to act effectively. Meanwhile, commentator Tang Jingyuan argued that while the authenticity of the leaked report remains uncertain, its core logic is plausible. If Xi regains power, figures like Zhang Yuxia, Wang Yang, and Hu Chunhua could face severe reprisals or even death. Since they hold the guns, he said, it's better to strike first than to sit and wait for death. If they miss this chance, there will be no next one. Another analyst, Guo Jun, speaking on the Elite Forum program, said, the CCP's internal structure has already changed. Everyone is acting, but the nation isn't ready for the real upheaval. The key question is, when will they flip the table and tear the curtain apart? Guo added that Hu Jintao may not have fully withdrawn from politics. He and his son Hu Haifeng could be pushed back into the political center during the coming power shift. Within the CCP system, leadership succession must be legitimized by formal political lineage, and Hu Jintao, being the only living former general secretary, still holds symbolic authority that can uphold that legitimacy. In recent weeks, rumors have intensified that Xi Jinping has already lost power and may soon be ousted. Earlier reports claimed that at the end of June, CCP elders established a central party decision-making and coordination commission, effectively sidelining the Politburo Standing Committee and turning Xi into a political figurehead. It is said that all current members of the Politburo must now report directly to this new coordination body, whose representative, notably, is Wang Yang. Your feedback matters. Share your views in the comments. If this content resonated with you, we invite you to share it with your network.